Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, we have a tour of Orison, we get the latest on theatres of war, plus we hear that we will be able to walk around inside an Aegis Javelin at this year's Invictus Week. So this week's Inside Star Citizen begun by looking at new upcoming armours, which the character team are pushing towards. Now, armours begin with the design team. They look at the game and decide what armours they will need for what particular gameplay. Then it goes to narrative to ensure that they are in line with the game, and then the concept artists go to work. Now, when they design armours, they're much more aware of what is needed for each specific suit or armour, and this whole collaboration helps to get everyone aligned so they know the direction on where to go and what needs doing before they even put pen to paper. Now, the first suit that we got to see was a new heat suit, with the majority of the suit being made up of fabric. Now, this isn't a modular armor like what we have with the current armors in-game, so you won't be able to swap the helmet, the arms, the legs, the torso with other pieces. The whole thing is bespoke. This suit is to protect against high temperatures, and they said that there were thoughts about giving the suit vents, so that if the suit begins to overheat, players could then maybe push a button and steam would vent out. A cool idea, but it doesn't sound like that will happen. Next up, we saw the Grey Cat armor suit, which is a utility armor that in my opinion looks really cool. I love this design, and I do believe that this is the one that is sold with the Grey Cat ROCDS skin. Now, I really like how it appears to have modular backpack options, so you can have varying sized backpacks. And this armor was heavily inspired by the Grey Cat multi-tool, which you can definitely tell, but it will be very interesting to see what its specs are and what its strengths and weaknesses are. From there, we got to see the new RRS Heavy Stealth Armor. This is a bulky armored tactical suit which has a lot of wrapped cloth, which I guess makes sense as to decrease its audible signatures and potentially other signatures as well. We got to see the varying color types like Black Ops, Fallout, Arctic Ops. They all look pretty cool. I'm looking forward to collecting them all. Now, we do have the light RRS armor on the progress tracker. What we see here is the heavy, so it looks as though there will be a choice of sizes, and personally I think it looks pretty neat. The next suit we got to look at was the Hurston Security Guard's armor. Now, this doesn't actually have an official name yet, but what is unique is that this is a modular suit, but the breathing hose and cowl uses a different system called Theta Geo, which means when they pair two or more items together, a very unique geo will be added for the visuals, only turning on when all the pieces are there. So if you were to wear a different helmet, for example, the breathing tube or cowl wouldn't appear. Now, they would like to feature this on other armors to help push more unique and cool silhouettes, and I do think it's a great idea as it does look awesome and it still allows for good customization, if not super realistic, but I suppose that's the trade-off between immersion and fun. So going forwards, there are going to be many more armors and suits coming, and some of them will be modular, allowing us to mix and match with other pieces from other brands. Some will use this new Theta Geo system, allowing more unique designs to pop up and create an affinity, but also many, like the heat suit, will be bespoke and non-modular, serving a specific role. He also mentions that not all armors or styles are to be liked by everyone, and I often see people getting over irate because they don't like a particular helmet or a particular suit, but that choice and variety is so important, so there is something for everyone, and that diversity is something that makes this game so great. Anyway, from there, we had a quick tour of an area of Orison. Now, Orison will initially be made up of three areas. We have the August Dunlow Spaceport, which is named after the founder of Crusader, Cloud View Center, which is the main habitation, shopping and relaxation area, and Providence Industrial Platform, which is one of the main manufacturing hubs where Crusader build their ships. And this is what we got to see a tour of in a debug mode while they were doing a lighting pass. Of course, once Orison is released, it'll look as it is intended to. Also, the background is not the clouds that we will see in the final version. This is just a construction level. Anyway, we start off at the Ingress landing point where they have come from the commercial district using a Crusader shuttle, very distinguishable rear end. Now, this area will have a Crusader merch shop and offer tours for visitors who want to see the process line for the ship manufacturing plant. To the right hand side you can see a workers entrance for the platform. This is where NPC workers will be coming and going. There'll be a uniform shop for any NPCs who forget something, which hearing this makes me wonder if we will be able to come and work for them in some way, maybe doing a simple job for roleplay purposes, but also it could be a way to sneak into the plant for various reasons, like assassinations perhaps, being able to blend in as a worker. But from here you can see the workers' security gate, which then leads to a train to allow them to travel up and down the colossal dry dock. Now on the other side of the workers area, this is where you will see a lot of ships coming and going, dropping off all the resources and materials that will be needed to build the ships. You also get a great view of the rest of the Providence platform, and below there are escape pods in case of an emergency. Now they're also adding interactable screens in areas like this for future gameplay, should they wish to expand upon this. This ladder allows you to go down and service the equipment as well, so there should be jobs for maintenance at the very least. But with this whole platform, they are trying to create a real sense of vertigo, and as they continue to develop Crusader, they will add more areas down the road. I am so excited to get exploring Orison, and just seeing Crusader as well. It is the final planet of the Stanton system, and from what I've seen so far, it all looks phenomenal. I do think it'll blow us away. Anyway, that was Inside Star Citizen. A pretty great episode. Let us move on. So this week's Calling All Devs was with Richard Tyra and Sean Tracy talking about Theatres of War. Now they mentioned that the Firesprite team is a team of 10 within the Firesprite company and have been working on Theatres of War since they presented it to us back at CitizenCon 2019. Within CIG, only 1.6% of all devs in the company are working on Theatres of War, and right now they have taken the feedback from the most recent playtest and have solidified the direction for this specific Theatres of War scenario, being Crossroads of Crime, and are now closing out on this mode, just finishing off with the cinematics for the scenario, like the intro video, and sharing the lore and the story behind the mode. But the core gameplay loop is well established. So they say all that remains is working to improve the performance, finishing off the cinematics, and then Art will do a final pass to make it look as good as possible. Now after this scenario, they will push on to the next scenario, which will be more of a ship-centric scenario, in which it takes place on ships and incorporates all various types of ships, including dogfighting, multi-crew, there's going to be EVA, there's going to be FPS. They're also working out what happens when you start this scenario in space, maybe incorporating asteroids or space stations, maybe gas clouds and so on, plus integrating more of the recent features brought into the PU, like the tractor beam, mounted guns, and trolleys. Healing is also getting worked on as well, which will include a down state and the ability to revive, so do expect that to get implemented at some point. Now, one question that they were asked is, why is it still in Evocati? Now, this is partly because they are still gathering data for the playability, the balance, and performance, which is what they are still doing now. They say it's not quite there yet for that stuff, so they don't want to open it up any further just at this moment. And they would prefer to have better performance, as this actually prevents them from gathering more data. So they will open it up to more players once they take care of a few things, like improving the performance. And to give some sight as to what they're hoping to achieve, they will release it only when performance is respectable on a mid-spec machine, and they're not having to worry about frame rates and desync. They also said they won't just throw out Theatres of War and let it die. They will continue to keep it fresh and use it as a way to help progress Star Citizen. But they would like to get 2 different scenarios complete before they do release it. So finally, they were just asked, how do you feel about Theatres of War right now? And right now they say they know they're on the right track, but there is still a lot of things that they want to improve, but they feel great about it. So basically not a lot of information to take away from that, other than before they open up the mode to more players, they want to increase performance, implement more of the other features that we have in game right now, and some they are working on, create a second scenario, and then finish off art and cinematics. So not great news, I'm afraid, but there you have it. That is Calling All Devs. So one of the bigger announcements this week was the countdown to Invictus Launch Week, or Fleet Week as it's kind of known. Now this is a week-long celebration to honour all of the servicemen and women who are currently serving, have served and are signing up to serve for the UEE. Now it is also a time for the UEE aerospace and defence manufacturers to showcase their vehicles, which is when we're likely going to be able to see the Hercules C2, M2 and Nova Tonk. But the biggest news about this week is that we will get a chance to see and tour the interior of a currently in service Aegis Javelin called the UEES Warhammer. Whether this is the full interior, I don't know, but it is going to be cool nonetheless. Also, the fleet flying around. Sounds as though there might even be a RSI Bengal carrier tagging along, which will be incredibly epic to see. So expect to see more information as time approaches. Plus there will likely be some surprise ship sales or other things going on that we are unaware of as yet. Now the event schedule for the ship manufacturers is available to check that out. Follow the link in the description below. But the event itself kicks off on May the 21st and lasts until June the 1st. You will also be able to test fly every ship for free, plus Star Citizen itself will be free to play from the 22nd of May through till the 3rd of June. So if you are wanting to test out the alpha but are not quite sure whether it's for you, then this is your chance. You don't need to buy anything, you just need to sign up, and if you want to use the referral link in the description, this will get you some in-game starting money for free. Personally, I am extremely excited for this year's event, especially checking out the interior of the Javelin. It's going to be a good time. So also this week we had a new Galactopedia update. The latest jump point is now available for all RSI subscribers. And finally, Alpha 313.1 was released. This does not contain the Hercules or the Tonk, but it does include ship-to-station docking. And for a rundown of the 313.1 patch notes, check out my video linked in the description below. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.